buy now, sell now lens, we're going to be shifting focus to the metal pack itself, because this sector is on the roll. In the past 7 odd days, we have seen great moves on this particular index, if you can see on your screen as well. So let's try and establish the broader context first. We caught up with Rakesh Arora of Go India Stocks, and let's go across and listen into what he had to say about his expectations for the commodity prices and his analysis of steel exports from China.
My expectation is that commodities they will have an uptick, but it's not a full-blown bull cycle. There are a few reasons for that. One is that China is no more the same force as what it was, like a decade back. Uh, the financial efficiency, the capital efficiency in China is actually reducing. So the same amount of stimulus is not producing the same amount of demand pull, and the domestic consumption for China remains extremely weak. And if you look at all the parameters in form of consumer confidence, etc., they're also at a very low level in China. So China has been producing a lot, and but they are exporting it largely to the world. And so in the first 2 months, we have seen steel exports increase by 23%. Now this is coming on back of a 6-7 year high increase, high in exports of steel last year. So already, China is exporting a lot. And as you would have been hearing, that China is also creating a lot of pressure in the new age products, be it EVs or solar panels, or so the deemed export of commodities in steel is also extremely high from China. So there's a lot of disinflationary wave coming out of China. So I don't think commodity prices have the same kind of strength as we saw post-COVID or pre-global financial crisis.
All right, so let's delve in a bit deeper and see what kind of metal moves, or rather what kind of moves metals have posted. The top gainers when it comes from the space. Ashesha is here to give us a detailed analysis exactly what's happening in that space, as well as what should one look out for. Ashesha, over to you, and looks like you're on a roll looking at the sectors that you're covering every day in news.
Absolutely, and look at the kind of steam we've seen in metal stocks over the last few months. In fact, Nifty Metal Index year-to-date basis has been a clear outperformer. Nifty Metal Index is up nearly 9% on a YTD basis at a time when Nifty 50 has given returns of nearly 3 to 3.5%. Jindal Stainless, Nalco, SAIL are some of the top gainers on the Nifty Metal Index on a year-to-date basis. One of the reasons, of course, is the improving data that has come in from China. China's March manufacturing PMI data has come in much better than expected. Remember, there were concerns about recovery in real estate demand from China, and perhaps we are seeing some positive signs that have come in, because of which commodity prices globally are on a tear and metal stocks in India are also rising. Let's also talk about some commodities, in particular copper, for instance, is up nearly 5.5% in the last 1 month. Several Chinese copper smelters have indicated production cuts to the extent of 10 to 15%. Which could probably lead to undersupply in the market, because of which global copper prices are on the rise. In fact, Goldman Sachs expects copper prices to touch $10,000 per ton by the end of the year, and because of this, we have Indian players the likes of Hindustan Copper also gaining on the back of this news. Apart from this, let's also talk about iron ore, because iron ore prices have been falling. They're now below that $100 per ton mark. Poor inventory, rising inventory and lower data from Chinese steel demand was the main reason why iron ore prices continue to fall. But remember, this is a positive for steel manufacturers, because iron ore is a key raw material that is required for steel manufacturing, especially for non-integrated players the likes of JSW Steel. Falling iron ore prices is a big positive, and because of the fall in iron ore prices, analysts of course also expect a fall in steel prices going forward. But for now, global data that has come in not only from China but across the board from across emerging markets seems to be positive, and that is why global commodity prices continue to rise, and metal stocks in particular also are on a tear.
Thank you so much for that, Ashesha, for putting everything into context. A, what are the triggers for the rise in the prices, and also what's exactly going to aid, or what which all companies will actually benefit from what exactly is happening across the globe especially when you talk about the metal space. And let's take a look at exactly how metal has performed when you compare, or metal index has performed when you compare it with our own Nifty index. There you go. In the last 52 weeks, you've seen Nifty metal actually see an uptick as much as 60%, while you have a Nifty index post gain about 27 to 28%. So yes, healthy moves coming in from metal index with the last 7 trading session as well, sharp up move. But which side of the should you lie? Let's bring on board our guest for today. We have Kush Bora as well as Shahina Muqaddam joining us on the show. Very good morning to you, Kush, as well as Shahina. Thank you so much for joining us. Shahina, let me come first to you. You had Ashesha beautifully actually summarized everything for us. What exactly is happening across the globe? Which are the companies that are set to benefit? What's your understanding of what's happening in the metal space as a whole? And which are the stocks that you like from the space?
Well, the demand remains robust. And I think Chinese stimulus is having a positive impact. And there the margins, they were operating at such low margins that steel prices and even ferrous and non-ferrous both are likely to actually stabilize and move up from here. Now, as Shesha put, the companies over here that actually are not fully integrated like JSPL that are going to benefit from lower iron ore prices. I think though that would be the best pick in the ferrous sector, because you have also, in addition to lower raw material prices, or let us put it, stable raw material prices on a YOY basis, you also have increasing capacity. So I think in that pack, in ferrous pack, that would be the top. Also, in terms of aluminium, you have Novelis, which is actually going to go in for a IPO that would give some bit of liquidity to the parent Hindalco. So to that extent, even Hindalco looks good at current prices. So I think the overall metal pack does look good because if you compare on a Y-to-Y basis, raw material prices are stable, whereas the finished goods product prices are on the up move.
Right, that's the fundamental take coming in from Shahina on the metal pack. But Kush, coming to you, first of all, a very good morning. And what's your take coming in on metals? Because a lot of these counters have shown breakout. A lot of our experts have also been highlighting these breakouts on the longer time frame. But since metals are quite volatile, they are news flow driven globally as well. So any stock that still stands out for you for a trading bet in metals, and which will be your top bets in this particular sector?
Sure, Shrishti. First up, I think I must congratulate you. I remember this very clearly about last week. Sometime it was you who pointed out, that the rally in metals is about to start. I did have my apprehensions, but then, time and again, markets have a way to humble all of us. So I think, well pointed out. Right now, if I see the metal index itself has given a breakout on weekly, on daily charts. I think, the figure of about 9,000, which is also psychological level. I think it's, within a striking distance. It's currently at 8,725. So I think, the kind of momentum that we are seeing, some of the momentum indicators are indicating that, this will catch up, and I think 9,000 is the level we're looking at. So if the index also has at least about 3 to 4% comfortably from here, I think a lot of stocks are going to benefit. Time and again, we've maintained that, Tata Steel and Hindalco remain our top bets. They've done well. But I think a couple of stocks that now are starting to perhaps, break out of some of the resistance zones. SAIL is one of them. Not only the 150 threshold that, it was perhaps knocking, on the terms of, it's taken that out. So I think here too, 155, 59 are the near-term targets, that one can look at. And also Nalco. This is also one stock which still has some distance to go before it hits, any kind of resistance of about that 190 level. So I think these two stocks also, from a purely momentum perspective, now, should be on traders' radar. But, in any kind of dips, I think Tata Steel and Hindalco will still make the cut for us.
All right, so those are the top picks coming in from both of our experts when it comes to the metal space as a whole. But on that note, we'll slip into a break.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.